Welcome to a new world here on Azundor. We can start by seeing Padudi roaming around this new spawn with his fellow friends, waiting to go explore the world, checking out the towers with all the new information of exciting things that have been added, like our new foods, our new drinks, and our new way of travel. And having seen all of the new things that are there, Padudi and Wave Rider are ready to go out into the woods and begin their journey. They begin their journey heading north and doing what of course all Minecrafters must do to start: punching a tree. Now, having gathered his first bits of wood, Padudi can run deeper into the world to rejoin Wave and trying to find a cave to see what they can find down in the mines. As Padudi runs towards where Wave is, he remembers the new leaf litter added to the game. This leaf litter, he remembers, is very great for beginning use in furnace, being able to replace coal, so he gathers some and moves forward. He has found Wave punching his own tree. Padudi knows that in order to keep going, you must need to get some stone in order to mine some of the things underground. So he makes a crafting table to get his first wooden pickaxe, to then go and mine one of these boulders above ground to get a cobblestone pickaxe. Having mined the stone, he comes back to make his pickaxe so he can go down into the little cave that he'd found. He enters into this cave and stumbles quickly into the river like an idiot. He then swims down to see what he might find at the end. At that little ledge, he finds that there is some copper, and being the idiot that he is, thinks that he is in 1.21.10 where there is copper armor. So he mines it, thinking he will have armor very quickly. But he will not, because he is a fool. Now he stands there, thinking, oh great, I have some copper. Excited that he might have the prospect of armor, he quickly runs to go out to try and smelt it, stumbling in the water trying to get out. Returning to the surface, he quickly goes over to his crafting table to make the furnace. He places it, and with great excitement, he throws the copper in, unaware of how stupid he is in not realizing what version of the game he is in. What a moron. Realizing nighttime comes, a bed will be needed. So Padudi works his way to a few sheep, so that way he can gather some wool in hopes to sleep. As he returns to the furnace, he realizes his copper's done. And then he goes to check the recipe, realizing that he is in the wrong update, and gets irritated, realizing how stupid he was in the first place. but it is not for a loss. He then cooks the food, since the furnace is already out, before continuing on his journey to find Wave again and go mining for real this time. After having a luckily uneventful night, we begin the second day. Here we can see Padudi going to gather things from the surface because he is scared of going underground yet. He finds some coal, which will be very needed for when he finally goes underground when his pal Wave comes to get him. While mining for this coal, he finds some lapis. He knows that as of right now, it is of no use to him. But when he gets his eventual diamonds and an enchanting table going, those will be very, very important. He sees a cave but decides not to go down. Having now heard from Wave Rider, Padudi runs back to where he last saw him to begin their adventure for valuables underground. Padudi has now made it back to where he had lost his friend Wave, waiting for him to reappear to the surface to bring him down to the cave he found. While waiting, he knows that it will be useful to save the coal for later, for torches and smelting if need be, so he grabs some more leaves. With a Wave popping up, he throws him a magma block, so that way they can try and get to the cave by going through the river. Wave, being a generous friend, helps his cowardly pal Padudi out by giving him a full set of iron armor for his safety underground. With the armor equipped, they plunge into the river to go and find the cave. This is a first for Padudi, as he has never done any underwater mining or underwater traveling. So Wave teaches him how to use a magma block to regenerate air so that you can survive going underwater. It was a relatively short trip to get to the cave entrance. But when they stumble in, there's an enemy waiting for them. A scary, spooky skeleton. And as it is focused on Wave, Padudi charged forward to kill it. Now with the skeleton dead, he can assess the massive cave they have stumbled into and think about all the valuables and goodies that may be in store. After gathering the resources in the initial section of the cave, Wave Rider and Padudi decide it's time to go deeper underground and hunt for the all-needed diamonds. After exploring through some tight cave tunnels, Wave had found one that led into a giant cavern underground. Shortly after, Padudi follows in with a big splash, but quickly scared by the creeper behind him, and then excited by the glow squid dying in front of him, before realizing he is standing under a new cave structure. But that cannot distract him for too long, as it is a race between the two to get the diamonds that may be down in this cavern. Padudi begins his wandering, seeing what he may find, and stumbles upon some redstone. It is of no use to him yet, other than as great use for experience. After mining a little more redstone, Padudi sees the great blue color of diamonds. He quickly runs over to try to grab his diamonds, but is thwarted by a skeleton who wants to fight over them. So Padudi works on doing a maneuver of running around the cave spike to get the skeleton and acquire the diamonds. Having successfully done the maneuver and killed the skeleton, Padudi rushes in and grabs his first diamonds on Azundor. Now having diamonds, he hears his friend Wave fighting monsters over on the side and rushes over to see what he may be able to do to help. But another skeleton quickly pops out and scares this cowardly Padudi away. While being cowardly and running, Padudi sees a couple more diamonds lying on the cave floor, to which he quickly calls dibs and sneaks back in to grab after Wave Rider has saved him from the skeleton. After exploring the cave a little bit in the search for diamonds, the two heroes return their attention to this new cave structure and what it may hold. They realize that there is some archaeology that can also be done, as there is some suspicious sand around. But they first must go and check the top to see what is in there and what the structure holds. Padudi quickly finds a stash of iron and goes to grab it, while Wave walks around and explores what the chest may hold. To help make it easier to walk around, Padudi puts up a little bit of a wall to block the water coming in, before going and seeing what is held in the pots. Having explored the top of this new structure, they move their focus down to the lower section of it. After some time and organization, Padudi and Wave work together to make some brushes so they can excavate what is in the suspicious gravel. At first, Padudi is finding nothing exciting in the suspicious gravel, except for the occasional pottery sherd. That is until he goes and looks at the suspicious gravel underneath this tower structure. He slowly works his way through the suspicious gravel, not getting much. But his luck will change very shortly when he happens to stumble upon just the right bit of suspicious gravel. For which he finds a bonus diamond. Padudi and Wave have worked their way up into a higher section, knowing they want to get out. And on their way, Padudi spots one of the rare stone diamond ores. Seeing that there's diamonds, he must look behind it to see if there's any normal deep slate ones, so he can ponder whether it's worth mining this or saving it for a day when he has Silk Touch. Ultimately, being the idiot he is, he decides to mine it so it can be lost forever. Wave and Padooty continue their journey through caverns and tunnels to try and get back to the surface. Having had a fruitless venture underground, Wave Rider and Padooty have reached the surface again. Now with the goal being to find a place to build their base. On their way north, they come across a desert village and a pillager outpost, both of which are new and unique to the structures that have been added for this season. They decide it is best that before they go and try and take on the pillager outpost, to raid the village in an attempt to organize their inventory. This is also very bountiful for them because the books that they can steal. These books will be very useful in their attempt to build an enchanting table. As they finish looting the village, they turn their sights on the new pillager outpost design. Unaware that this is different from the vanilla pillager outpost, Padooty decides to charge straight in and get scared of all of the pillagers in this outpost, while his friend Wave bravely fights off the pillagers. Realizing that no one has been chasing for a while, Padooty regroups in his attempt to try and enter the outpost again. He decides it's best to charge back where he came from, and does another loop around until he can try to get inside, until he realizes there's a Vindicator waiting at the door for him. And now with two Vindicators chasing him, he runs like the coward he is. But running has worked, it has lured them away, so he can now go and see what there is in this outpost. He discovers that there were two allays that are trapped in that far cage. He then goes in an attempt to free them and have them as his pets. With the villager outpost successfully raided, Wave Rider and Padooty reconvene at the beach village. With their inventories full of supplies, they boat out to a new adventure on this season of Azundor.